Good evening, everyone, and welcome to class. This is 17 o'clock, and we will just give 5 more minutes for others to join in. The facilitator is already in class, so every other person present, please inform your party members to join in because it's time for class. And remember, when you join in, you put in your name and your party in the chat box. Thank you all, and see you by 17:05. Okay, this is 17:05. Welcome everyone to class. Our facilitator is already in class, and she'll be taking us on the judiciary and its impacts on governance. So I'm just going to go through a brief bio of our facilitator for today so you can know her better. Sheyi Bella Ayeni is an international commercial and corporate legal expert, CEO of a leading academic institution in Africa, international corporate lawyer, and a corporate communication consultant for the African Union, African CDC. She is currently the Deputy Director, Southwest of the Electoral College. She holds a law in undergraduate degree, Masters in International Commercial Oil and Gas Law, and another MSc in Technology and Law. She's currently undergoing her PhD in Good Governance, the Judiciary and the Role of Technology. A passionate humanist who is keen on dedicating herself to the service of mankind and in every aspect of her occupation and work, she's a firm lover of God. So, ladies and gentlemen, our facilitator for today, Miss Ayeni Sheyi Bella.
I'd like to say that Shay's bio don't do justice to who Shay is, and Shay is way ahead of her time. She's someone who I would say the college wouldn't exist if not for her. She's the first convert of the college, and she's proud. I'm proud of her. She not only attended her first cohort, she taught in her first cohort. She has remained a nationalist. She has remained a true Nigerian, better than I could have ever taught her. She is she is everything. In short, she should be president. Let's donate to your campaign. Thank you very much, She, and I I look forward to having a
Kule,
great
what are you
talk. I
even
hope I
doing
sit
here
down
to
on your.
start with? What are you doing here? I thought you said
I'm watching football, but I can also do this. This is official. And I have to hype my people. So Shay for president, and Shay is the woman I'm
this.
very
You're not
proud of. Shay is the woman I'm very proud of. She's grown so much. She's grown so much. I knew Shay, talking about issues in Nigeria, and Shay is just Shay. Like I can't say anything more than that. I'm very proud to have one of our deputy directors of the region, and probably one of the most powerful people in the electoral college, and somebody I'm proud to call my sister, my friend, my everything. The floor is yours. I had to do the intro for you.
Thank you, Kule, as always. Yeah. Hello, everyone. I know we have like a football match today, and we still have for now, 34 participants. So thank you for coming. Thank you for showing up. I've taught a lot of classes, so as my past students would say, and
Don't be modest. You've taught 13 classes. Calm down. Don't be modest. What's all this modest thing about?
So they will all tell you that I don't like I like engagement. So I like a lot of engagement. It's going to be a dialogue. I'm not here to lecture or anything. I'm here to have a conversation with you. So because I believe that the best way to impact knowledge is to have a conversation with somebody, because when I'm just feeding you, like if you decide not to take it in, or if you don't even process it, you may not necessarily take in the impact of our discussion. So this class, basically, you would even be the one. So we would teach ourselves. We would have a discussion. We will reason together. This is more or less like a critical analysis class, because I'd always say this. We all of us collectively were what makes up Nigeria. And what most people don't know is that the citizens are a huge part of the government. So you're actually part of the governance system. You're the arm that keeps the electoral the judiciary, the legislative, and the executive arm of government accountable. So, we're like, sorry, the light just went off. We're like the fourth arm of government, the invisible fourth arm of government that no one necessarily always talks about. And that's why we're having this class, for us to know our role and responsibility in Nigeria and for Nigeria. So, like I said, this class is very communicative. You're going to be doing a lot of the work yourself and all. So first, I want to assume that a lot of us went to secondary school, so we understand a thing or two about government and all. So I would like for one of us here to quickly, very briefly and quickly, give me a definition or like a simple explanation of what they know of the judiciary. Like, if you could quickly, give a brief definition or explanation of the judiciary, please. Somebody, please raise your hand on mute. All of us are going to be talking here, so please get used to it. Can somebody please tell us what they know about the judiciary? Just a brief definition. No answer is wrong. Well, you could, yeah, well, we'll talk through it together. Okay, Peter, please, can you unmute?
Yeah, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma. So, to my understanding,
for
yes,
raising your hand first,
yes.
I'll collect the details. You get something from me for being the icebreaker of this class.
Hey,
thank you, ma.
The sugar aunties that have made it. Please,
Thank you so
doctor.
much. All right, so from my own understanding, the judiciary is an arm of government that is bestowed with the responsibility of making laws and amending laws, basically.
Okay, so you said making laws.
Making laws, yes, and amending laws.
Okay,
yes.
Just hold that thought. Hold it.
Okay.
I don't want to say anything yet, but I'll come back to you, Peter.
All right.
Ikpele, please, Lalade, could you unmute and give us a quick explanation?
Good afternoon, Ma. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, to my own understanding and definition of judiciary. So judiciary refers to the branch of government that is responsible for interpreting and applying the law, like in a country of jurisdiction. Yes, their own is just to is their responsibility is an arm of government that is responsible to interpreting the law. That's my own simple definition.
Thank you, Lalade.
Thank you.
So would have. Don't worry, everybody. I can see that a lot of hands are getting raised, and I'm very happy about it. And trust me, throughout this class, everybody will have a chance to talk. So I'll take 2 more definitions, and that will be it. So, Labo Hamed Mohammed, please, could you unmute?
Okay, thank you for giving me this privilege. Judiciary is the third is the third arm of government among the third arm of government we have, namely the executive, the legislative, then the judiciary. The judiciary are those that are responsible in making using our laws that are made by the legislation and so on. So they are the ones that are interpreting laws. They are the ones that are taking case of making a lot of decisions in order to see things work between the executive and the legislation, to my own understanding.
Well done, Mohammed. Well done. So the last person, okay, I'll take 2 more people. Abayomi, quick one, please.
Okay, I was just going to add that judiciary is headed by the Chief Justice of Nigeria, I think. And yes, it encapsulates the entire justice system of a nation.
Hello, Abayomi, can you hear me? Hello? Abayomi?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Please, can you take that again, please?
Yes, I said I was just going to add that I think the judiciary is headed by the Chief Justice of Nigeria. And then it's like the broad term for the general justice system of the nation, from interpreting the law, dishing out sentences on cases and all of that.
Okay, thank you very much, Abayomi. So hold that thought. I'm going to come back to you and Peter. So please, before we move on with this class, I need to remember that I'm coming back to you and Peter after we take this definition. So the last person, okay, I think everybody has taken down their hands except Sophia. So Sophia, please. Thank you.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Sophia.
I understand that the judiciary is saddled with the responsibility of dispensing justice, protecting the rights of the people, and protecting or guarding the Constitution as well. I also know that the judiciary in Nigeria is headed by the Chief Justice of Nigeria, and there are different kinds of courts, like the magistrate courts, the revenue high court, and then Supreme Court, and they have different hierarchies. But in each of the courts, there are various structures, and they are headed to by other judges as well.
Thank you.
That's how much I understand. Thank you.
Well done, everyone. Well done. So I said I was going to come back to Peter. So Peter, let's have a quick dialogue. Can you unmute? Peter, where are you? It's Peter, right? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so good. So if I remember correctly, you said judiciary, they're the one who they make the law, right? And they sorry. So if I
They
remember
make and
correctly, you said
amend the law.
they make and amend the law. So
Yes, ma'am.
just provide clarity, yeah.
Okay.
They do not necessarily make the law. The legislative arm of government, they do that. What they do is that they basically, how do I put it? So a bill is tabled, do you understand? And then it goes into act, do you understand? They
Yes.
law. But at the same time,
Peter,
Yes,
don't
sir.
allow me fail you. Don't allow me fail you. Your last class was the legislative yesterday, and I told you they make and amend laws.
I'm so
I
sorry.
will
I'm
fail you.
honestly sorry. I
will
mixed it
fail you
up.
for
I seriously mixed it up. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
So the only area that you would say, and that's not even necessarily them making the law, because then they must have followed, you know, the law that was brought into place by the legislative, is the only allowance the judiciary may have in making the law while interpreting the law that is already existing is via precedent and by discretion. So basically, discretion comes in through different facts of a case. So the underlying rule, the underlying principle is the same. Do you understand? So for example, let's rough example. Do you understand? Mr. A, do you understand?
I do.
Kills Mr. B. Do you understand? That's a criminal offense, right? And it's jailable, life in prison. Do you understand? That's the law.
Yes.
That's the law. So Mr. A for killing Mr. B is being convicted of being a murder, first degree murder and everything. So he's supposed to go to life imprisonment. Do you understand? Because that's the law. So where discretion comes in by any court is the fact of the case. Now, there's a precedent, there's the rule that says anybody that commits an offense as grievous as murder will spend the rest of their life in jail. Do you understand? Now, the facts of the case now gives the judge or the court system the discretion to temper mercy with justice. So let's now say that, okay, they've said Mr. A killed Mr. B and everybody was enraged, but then we move further by now realizing that the reason why Mr. A killed Mr. B was because of due to immense provocation. Maybe he saw Mr. B raping his daughter, and in the middle of blind range, he hit Mr. B with something on the head, and Mr. B dies.
Yeah.
What's the difference in that case? So in such a situation, the court would apply discretion based on the fact of that particular case.
Okay.
So even at that, they are not necessarily making the law. They are following precedent, but applying discretion based on facts of each case. Do you understand? And the discretion itself is very, very limited. So you cannot apply discretion as to something that is a jailable offense between 10 to 20 years. You cannot apply discretion and give it 2 years. That's not discretion. That's going completely out of scope. So so they uphold the law. They do not implement.
Well understood. I actually mixed it up.
Yes.
Probably because I was.
And this is for everyone else also in the class, just for clarity.
Thank you so much.
And I think the other person I was supposed to come back to is it Timothy? Please, can someone remind me? Lolade. Is Lolade right? Is it Lolade?
Can I mute my mic now?
Yes, you can.
All right,
Lola,
thank you.
is it you? Was it you I was supposed to come back to? Hello? Okay, so even if I can't find the person, someone made a statement that the judiciary is the complete judicial system. The judiciary is not all by itself a
Yeah,
judicial system.
you were going to
It
get
is
back to me, Shay.
Yes, Abayomi, thank you.
Yes.
So you are right with all of the explanations you gave. And yes, indeed, the judiciary is part of the judicial system. It is not all by itself, the judicial system. What makes up the judicial system is actually the three complete arms of government. In fact, I would say four. The legislative arm of government, judicial arm of government, the executive arm of government, and me and you. Well, all of us combined is actually what makes up a judicial system. Judicial system is a combination of all arms of government, inclusive of the judiciary. So that's just that part that we need to clarify. But other than that, everybody well done. We did a good
Thank
job.
you.
Nail on the head. So in summary, we've all said that, someone even, I think, was it Sophia that even went ahead to break it down to us with the different judicial system, like the different, arms of the courts that we have, the Supreme Court, Court of Appeal, High Court, and all of that. I'm not going to go into details of that now because obviously our time will run out and that's not the essence of this class. The essence of this class is to understand the impact of the judiciary in our day-to-day lives, in governance. So another quick question, does anyone briefly and quickly want to explain to the rest of us what governance is? Governance. What is governance? Just try. Say anything that comes to your mind. What is your understanding of governance? Oh, yeah. Oh. What is your understanding of governance? Good. We have 2 hands raised. Umoren, I'm so sorry if I botched your name. Please correct me with the right pronunciation when you're on mute. Please kindly unmute and explain to us what you understand by governance.
Okay, good evening, ma. My name is
Good
Umoren.
evening. Okay, Umoren. Okay, got
Umoren.
it. Thank you.
Right. So governance could be described as a systematic coordination of different arms of government in order to achieve a flexible and organized operation of the day-to-day of an organization, of a state of nation.
Thank you very much. Godwin, your turn.
Hello. Going by the definition we're given here about government, I'd say governance.
No, I said governance. Okay, good. Governance. Keep going.
Okay. So I'd define governance as the process of managing the resources, both human and capital resources, of an organization or a country or an institution for the good of the people.
Good. Well done. That's a very good summary of it. Esther, please unmute. Esther, quickly, please unmute. Hello, Esther. Esther Additional, please unmute. Okay, sorry about that, Esther. You could drop your explanation in the chat box for everyone to see. Patience, please unmute. Let's hear you. Patience, are you here? Okay. Lalade again. Since the first two weren't able to, can you unmute?
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Hi, good evening.
Related to my own, I can say governance really refers to the way at which a group of people or organization where they're being managed, probably directed and controlled. It also encompasses the processes, systems and structure in which decisions are made. Thank you.
Good. So everyone was right on this one. Well done. So, but when we put, so with all of your definitions, when we then streamline it within the context of government, we would say that basically, yeah, basically it's the relationship that explains the social setting where the governors strive to meet the needs of the people rather than a particular sector. Do you understand? So from that simple, you see that I'm trying to keep my definitions very short and simple so that you will pick the main principles behind it. So basically, it is a situation where a governor, and I use the word governor loosely, a governor also represents a leader of a state, be it a certain area or a country. It is where an elected member of the society, do you understand, is selected to help cushion the demands of the people. Basically, is like having a driver taking the front seat, do you understand, and leading you guys to where you want to go and taking you guys to where you want to go. So what that really means is that they are working for you to take you to where you want to be. So when you put good in front of governance, is basically good governance is a situation where the body or the individual that you've elected, do you understand, takes into consideration the reason and the purpose they've been elected for, and then, you know, drives towards that goal and that target. So I would say there's no actual true definition of good governance. You cannot pinpoint particularly what good governance means, but you can use, according to like the World Bank and also the UN, they are like tiny other concepts that helps define good governance. And not only helps define good governance, it helps identify whether or not a certain jurisdiction, whether or not a certain system or a certain country has good governance in place. And that's the principle of rule of law. For you to say, you know, there's good governance present in your nation, you have to have a presence of rule of law. There has to be control of corruption. There has to be accountability and transparency within that system. There has to be political stability, and there has to be effectiveness and efficiency. Now, the purpose of this class is to see how the judiciary can help, or their role in helping promote all these 5, you know, tiny bubbles of good governance. So we would start with the principle of judicial independence. Now, we've all said a thing or two about the judiciary, right? That judiciary does this, judiciary does that. In order for the judiciary to do all of these things that they've mentioned, can somebody tell me the necessary ingredients that has to be available? Like, what is the most important thing the judiciary has to have in order for them to effectively, you know, do all of these things that we've said they are supposed to do? Patience, is your hand still raised, or is this from before? Umoren, please unmute. We have 53 people here, and it's still the same set of people raising their hands. So please, everybody, I need to see more hands raised.
I believe the most important thing is independence.
Good. So yes, the most important thing of anything in general, of almost anything, is its independence. Do you understand? For something to function properly and accurately and of its own accord, it has to be independent. It should be free. Yes, thank you, Udo. It should, Nigeria, I think someone's just dropped a very helpful information on the chat box. She said it should be free and fair. So yes, there's a need for the judiciary to be free and fair. So what I will ask this question, and please, class, don't get gaslighted. Do we think that our judiciary is independent enough? Do we, is that like, do we have the presence of independence within our judicial system in Nigeria? Similarly, I saw your hand raised, but then it disappeared. Is it still raised? Oh, Joseph, someone knew, thank God. Joseph, please unmute. All of you say no, because I can see things flying in the chat section already. You have to come prepared, because you need to tell me why you think it is not independent. Do you understand? Like I said, we're going somewhere. Do you understand? Just be patient with me. But for me to get to where I need us to get to, I need you yourself to, do you understand? I need you to think towards that lane too. So I don't just want to teach or talk. I need us to use our brains to go through the process together, because if there's anything Nigerians know how to do is to follow a mantra. We pick up a phase and we follow blindly. Do you understand? So all of us in this class, we need to go through the process together. So yes, Joseph, please. Yeah, please explain to me if you think the Judiciary of Nigeria is independent. If you say yes, you need to tell me why. If you say no, you need to tell me why.
Okay, so judging from what I see, I am of the opinion that the judiciary is not independent. Reason why I say that is because in a situation where the president gets to appoint the chief judge, indirectly or indirectly seems to be under his leadership and under his directives, because I literally brought you into this particular position. You should be answerable to me. I could have brought any other person. In fact, I personally feel that there is an arrangement or agreement that is made prior to the appointment of such people, saying that when you get there, you are not going to oppose me for any reason. Only on this case will I bring you, and then they accept. That's how the whole thing, I feel, plays out to be, because there are a lot of things going on wrong that we don't see the people who are supposed to defend the constitution doing so, simply because they were actually brought into those positions. So it's not independent.
Joseph, thank you very much for what you've just said. I say thank you, not necessarily because we've hit the nail on the head, or not necessarily because, we're done with the analysis, but because you've just taken me to my bus, basically you've taken me to my bus stop. Do you understand? Where I need to go, you've taken me there. So thank you. So you said something. This is the mistake all of us in Nigeria makes. When I say Nigeria, we forget the one most important thing in this life. We forget that Nigeria is you and me, right? So when I say is independent, is there a presence of judicial independence? The first question is to ask yourself, do we have the provisions for a judiciary to be independent in Nigeria? Like, do we have laws or do we have rules that mandate or backs the independence of judiciary? Yeah. The actual question is yes, we do. We have laws, do you understand? We have our constitution that emphasizes that the judiciary should be independent of other arms of government. Now, does it have loopholes? That's where the question is. Yes, it has loopholes. Do you understand? But why is there a law, within our constitution that says, the judiciary should be all this? And even, we ratified the UN law into our own law that, the judiciary has to be independent, because without the independence of the judiciary, we cannot do this, we cannot do that. It's all in our, constitution. Whether or not there are loopholes is another question entirely. So follow me, do you understand? So we've now identified that actually, within our constitution, do you understand? Within our rules, within our laws, do you understand? There's a provision that allows, and not even allows, that mandates that our judiciary should be independent. Now, in reality, that's where your conversation now comes in, and that's where you're now, right? In reality, is that the practice? No. Why is that not the practice? It is not because Nigeria as a nation is lawless or because we do not have laws. It is because the people in Nigeria are not following the laws. There are two different things. It's different for you to have something. It's different from you to follow the thing. And then it is different for that thing that is being implemented to be enforced. And then it is different for that thing that is enforced to be accountable, to be held accountable. We just mentioned 4 different things. So it's a journey. That's what I need all of us to understand. In fact, that is the purpose of this class. It is a journey. One arm will do their part. Without another arm doing their part, it all crumbles. So when we say Nigeria, we forget one most important thing. We forget that we are the Nigeria. Yes, me and you. Do you understand? So as a country, as an institution, do we have these things that is supposed to make Nigeria's judiciary independent? Yes. Do you understand? But are we following it? No. Now, you made a mention of something that the president, elects. The president does not by himself choose the Chief Justice of Nigeria. He follows, do you understand? He follows the recommendation of the National Judicial Council. And it is not only Nigeria that does this. This is common in almost every nation. Do you understand? It provides and allows for check and balances, for separation of power, basically. There's a thin line between independence and checks and balance. So, for example, I will not let A run off freely with power without being checked. Because when that happens, you leave room for you leave room for lack of accountability, and you leave room for dictatorship. Do you understand? So the reason why these powers are spread across the different arms of governance is to make sure that no one person holds power absolutely. Do you understand? So basically, the judiciary on its own cannot pick its own head, because then there will be a lot of politics around that. Do you understand? There will be a lot of, corruption and a lot of things. So in a sane environment, in a sane nation, do you understand? They will delegate that power to another arm of government. And again, they're not even the ones saying, okay, this is the person that will rule over you. They will get recommendations within the judiciary itself via the National Judicial Council. Do you understand? Check their records, make their decision. The president is always advised, do you understand, by these people before he then picks up a particular individual who will then head the judiciary. It's not a Nigerian thing. It's basically almost every country does that. Now, the problem with us now is the people in the system. I always try to say there's a difference between the system and the people in the system. That's the issue here. Do you understand? So all of these things you've said, you're 100% right. But who do we hold accountable? Are we saying, I always say this thing when I hear the funniest phrase I've heard all year is, may Nigeria never happen to you. I find that word so funny. I find it so funny because when I hear it, I'm like, may Nigeria never happen to you. Who is the Nigeria that is happening to me? Are you not a Nigerian? Is it not you that is a Nigerian? Think about it. Look at now. Somebody, kidnapping is now the thing now in Nigeria. Do you understand? And they will go, oh, government, don't get me wrong. Do you understand? The government has a lot to answer to. And when I mean a lot, they have almost everything to answer to. But what I'm saying is that until we become independent, like until we understand these things by ourselves, until there's nothing as more powerful than mental slavery. Nothing more powerful than mental slavery, not knowing, because in itself, that is where the mistake comes. There's nothing more powerful than mental slavery. Now we've seen that, okay, within our constitution, it actually provides that judiciary should be independent and they should be this, they should be that. But most people don't even know. Most people don't know. You have an issue, instead of you, going through the right way, you come on Instagram, you come on social media, you carry placard and you go and protest. How is it helping anything in the real state of, like, within the nation? How are you helping? Let's even start. May Nigeria, I'm sure that in this class, I'm sure that, including me, I'm sure we have a lot of business-minded people who are 52 years, and I can bet that out of 52 years, 25 of us probably are vendors. Do you understand? We have things that we're selling, we have products that we're selling and all of that. Do you understand? And maybe out of 25 of us here, maybe I'll say maybe 15. If you go to their business page on social media, you will see there, okay, maybe they sell, for example, like they sell clothes and they sell different items. You see it on their status, on their bio, no return or exchange. So when you buy something, do you understand? They don't allow return, they don't allow exchange. Once you've bought, that's the end. Do you understand? Do you know that statement, do you understand? If I come, somebody like me, that I'm knowledgeable, that I know my law and I know my rights, I go to such vendor, I buy something from that vendor, and I get my product, do you understand? And it's not good enough. Maybe it's below quality, or it is not what I saw. Like what I got was not, what I ordered was not what I got. And I come to you and you say, go to your status. You said it there that no exchange, no exchange, no return. And I take you to court. Do you know that you can, if you like, you either owe me 10 million naira or you stay in jail for good 3 years. How many of us know that? No, we're just following bandwagon. All of us saying, oh, may Nigeria not happen to you. When you yourself, you're contributing to the problem. We have an act, do you understand? Consumer Goods Act that even says that it is very illegal as a vendor for you to be selling something and you're saying no return, no nothing. Once you buy, that's the end. I'm just trying to make all of us understand our contribution. See, all of us, our contribution inside of this bubble that we're in. So it's not just the government, it's not just governance, it's us. The fourth arm of governance is actually the most powerful arm of governance, the most powerful. Like, I mean, think about this. This is common sense, right? You know that it is only less than 1% of the country holds power. So are you trying to say that the remaining 99 of us will have no say in our country? We have no say in how our country runs. We have no say in what happens within the country. No say at all? Is that what you're trying to say? No say? What is our role within governance? Do you understand? What is our role? What role do we have in actually making our country what we want, and where, and what factors do we need to drive our countries to drive our country to where it's supposed to be? Is the question I'm going to ask everybody, and is the question I'm actually challenging everybody with today. Do you understand? We understand the role of governance. We understand the role of judiciary. What is our own role? Mr. Agogo, Justin, please, can you unmute? Hello, Mr. Agogo, Justin.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm quite enjoying your presentation because it's interactive. Now, staying with the independence of the judiciary, excuse me, the judiciary, and especially the selection process of the CJN who heads the judiciary. Now, I know that for a law to be a good law, there must be right in that law.
Yes,
now,
you're correct.
Yes, it may be a common practice the world over. The fact that it's a practice the world over that the National Judicial Council recommends and then the president appoints. Does that necessarily make it right in respect of the situation of Nigeria? Situation of Nigeria in the sense that we have over the years seen our elected executive, especially the president, exert so much influence on whoever is the CJN. Maybe because
hold that thought. You're very right.
All right.
Hold that. You will continue. Just hold that up, because what you said is very right, and you're very correct. Do you understand?
Yes.
There is no doubt. Do you understand
Yes.
that? Time and over again, our executive arm of governance, do you understand? They've abused that rule. They've over abused it. Now you've made mention of something very important. And where I'm getting us to think is, now we've seen that this is happening over and over again, right? As you've said.
Yes. Yes.
Us as the fourth arm of government, what have we done about it? How have we held them accountable?
Yes, I think
that's where I need every one of us to start thinking towards, because again, for Nigeria to be good, for Nigeria to get to where we want them to get to, we need to understand one very important concept of accountability.
Yes. So for me,
do you know, should I tell you something? Well, we are all upright citizens here, I believe. Do you understand? But you do not tempt a man with what he lacks. It doesn't make, he will fall into temptation. It doesn't make him good. It doesn't make him bad. How you put a man in check, do you understand, is by having those rules. And not only having those rules, but the ability for those rules to be enforceable and holding them accountable. Now we have the rules. My question is, how are we holding these people accountable to the rule?
Yes, I essentially believe that every human being is corrupt. It is only opportunity that reveals the inherent nature of a man. When you give man an opportunity to steal or to commit, he will commit. Whoever has not committed is because has not had an opportunity, even in US or everywhere. Now, I think in our own case, as I was asking that question, my thinking is around the fact that we as citizens have not done so much to hold our leaders accountable, and also advocating for a system and a method unique to Nigeria of arriving at who becomes a CJN outside of the NJC and the president's selection. For instance, maybe looking at if it is the time to appoint a CJN for Nigeria, let's say there is a nomination of candidate from the 36 states who people present their manifesto to them as, okay, this is my qualification, they screen the people, do an election, and then appoint who become the CJN on the basis of experience and whatever, so that the president does not have so much control over such an individual. To some extent, it may help us. That's my thought. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Justin. But do you know what you're suggesting? You're suggesting that, like, centuries of precedent, centuries of principles should be overridden because of one spot human being, for lack of better word. So basically, the principle, the concept is not the problem. It is the people. So how do I put it? It will take what you're saying it's good. I'm not saying it's, I don't even know if it's good or bad, it's a suggestion. But for that to happen, you need to dismantle
the constitution.
Like the constitution. Nigeria would not be Nigeria anymore. Do you understand? And you need to think about the international implications of that. You're out of the UN, you're out of the AU, you're out of ECOWAS because you've gone solo. Do you understand? You become an alien. Do you understand? You're using a template that is not known or recognized by the world. You become a nation of yourself. You become an island of yourself because a few human beings could not conform to principles that were made for them. You see what the problem is? And let me tell you something. No matter what rule, no matter what system you put in place, when there's an unwilling individual, when there's an unwilling human being, it will never work. Rules does not matter. See, let me tell you, these things are tools. It is us that use these tools for our good, right? So whatever tool, anything you bring, there would always be a loophole. There is no system without its loophole. It is the willingness of man that then makes that system into something good or bad. Tools are neutral. Laws are neutral. Systems are neutral. Do you understand? It is like a bottle that is filled with content. It is what you then feel it is the content you feel in it, then you get the result out of it. When you fill in good content in it, you get good yields. When you fill in otherwise, the otherwise is the case. Do you understand? So we need to be progressive with our thoughts. Like, it's a good thing, but that's like wishful thinking, because it can never happen. It can never happen. And it's even that, in fact, it's one of the hardest things to do. It's even harder than kicking all our politicians out and replacing them with new ones. As hard as that is, that's almost impossible. But what you're suggesting is even more impossible, because then you're starting from scratch. You're building a completely different nation. Maybe you'd even have to move to Pluto, because I don't know what international body will support that. So that's something else entirely. Do you understand? So again, we understand the principle of independence of the judiciary. We understand that within our constitution, do you understand? We have laws that back the independence of the judiciary. Is it without its flaws? I'm not saying that. Do you understand? I'm not saying it doesn't have its flaws and everything. But would it take us to where we want to be if we had an able, steady judicial system? Yes, it would. Yes, it absolutely would. There are a lot of countries. In fact, let me tell you something. There's a new, it's not even new anymore. Like for the past 2-3 years, Japa has been going around. Like a lot of people they've been Japa into the UK, to the United Kingdom. Do you understand? It will shock you to note that Nigeria's constitution, our rules, do you understand? Our systems, our laws were adopted from the British. So you see the law that they have there, do you understand? That is making that place so conducive for all of you to go to. It's the same that we have here. What's the difference, please? Can somebody tell me the difference between both? Like, do you understand? The difference, can somebody please tell me the difference? So if you say you have literally almost the same law in Nigeria that you have in another country that you're running to, can somebody point me the mean? There's the median, mode, and mean. Can somebody please point me the mean in that statement that I've just said? Country A has a lot of good people. They have like their own society and they have everything. Do you understand? And their law was modeled after country B. But everybody in country A, all of a sudden, they are leaving country A and going to country B. What do you think the problem may be for that? I need somebody new, please. Can somebody else? Can people like this is? It's like I said, we're not in a lecture room. We're having a conversation. You teach me something, I'll teach you something in return. Mohammed, please, can you unmute?
Okay, I have heard a lot about the judiciary system and so on, their loopholes, about how they appoint and so on, but I would like to add a little bit before I go into your next question. It's not just the appointment is the problem and so on. It's the even willingness of the judiciary to even fight for their independence. If you can take a case of the university lecturers versus federal government about IPPS, you see how they fought for themselves and so on. About the finance, that's another problem. Finance is not just the appointment. The executive is holding the judiciary also on financial issues. They are the ones that are paying them and so on. Again, it's another reference with local government. That's why independence of such institution cannot be in reality and so on. The institution themselves, they need to stand up to fight for themselves, to be at the war front. Then we as people can back them up and so on. So all these things is intertwined.
Mr. Mohammed, what is an institution? Let's go back to the primary thing. What is an institution? Do you know that an institution is a tool? It's like saying a robot to fight for you. You are the one that will control the robot, right? It is you that will fight for you, not an institution fighting for you. Nobody can love you more than you. Okay, let me break it down to Valentine is just around the corner. Do you understand? Let me calm down a bit so that we can relate better. Maybe if I use like all these kind of terms, you might get me better. Do you understand? For example, you meet a girl. Do you understand? I can see you're a fine guy. Do you understand? You meet a girl now. Do you understand? You like her. You're talking to her. Do you understand? And she continually says no, 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 no. What would you do? You either find ways to make her say yes, or you drop it and go because it is not for you, right? Do you understand? Because as an individual, you have your own self-worth. You come first, you love yourself. Do you understand? What is not good for you is not good for you. Do you get? Or when somebody is beating you constantly, will you sit down and be taking the beating? Won't you fight back? So what institution? Yes. I keep asking, who are you waiting for to save you? Who will save you when you're not ready to save yourself? As an individual, let me use something that everybody will understand. Sapa, do you understand? As an individual, everybody here is working for their money. Some people probably get broke once in a while. Do you understand? And let's say we have friends or family, do you understand, that often will come to us for help. Every day, let's say we have this person that comes to us for help every day. It's quite unfortunate, do you understand? A lot of people are in that situation, and it's the economy of things, and that's sad. Now, you are willing to help somebody that is doing everything that they can to help themselves. So you will continue to help that person because you can see that, this person is actually trying. Do you understand? They are doing everything they can. They are working. Maybe it's just not their time yet, and it's just not time. But in time, because they are working, you know that they will get there. So you're giving them because you're giving their dream. Now, think of another person, all he does is sleep and wake up and is begging for money. You will give 1, 2, 3 times. Afterwards, won't you stop?
It's just a beggar.
And that's exactly, so that is all we are. Right now, that is what me, you, all of us here, that's what we're doing. We're just complaining. The question is, what have we done to ease our suffering? Nothing. You need to help yourself before somebody can help you. What institution are you talking about? The institution is a non-living thing. It's an object. It is a tool. A tool will not help you. It will not. It's an institution. Again, if I wish I could carry a microphone. I wish I could have like the whole of Nigeria in a hall and just carry a microphone and just shout that you are shouting Nigeria, Nigeria, but you are Nigeria. Like, nobody's gonna, no angel will come down and save you if you're not ready to fight. For us, as Christians, heaven helps those who help themselves. There is no faith without works is nothing. I hope some of us understand the principle of faith. Do you understand? We have faith. It's like sitting down hoping for a job. You just sat down. You go to church tomorrow that, I'm believing God for a job. Somebody say hallelujah. I'm sure my job is coming. And you've not applied anywhere. You've not done it. You never even do anything. You just sat down believing God for a job. God will just look at you that you're not serious. He will not even give you that job. You know why? You were embarrassing because you're not even ready for the job. Do you understand? God will not give you something that will bring embarrassment to his name. Do you understand? You need to be ready for it. You need to do you know what it means to hunger for something? So that when you get it, you will do it right. Again, I'm asking, what institution? We are the ones that make up the institution. Sure, you know. That's why I said what they did not teach you in your government class. You know, what they did not teach you in civil education, what they did not teach you during your NYC is that you are the fourth arm of government. Fourth arm of governance. And the fourth arm of governance is the most important arm in any institution, and it is in any governance. You know why? Because it is us, it is me, you, it is us that is actually the Nigeria that is supposed to keep those three arms of governance accountable. We are the ones to make sure they do what they said they were going to do. Again, we started this class by defining governance. We started by understanding and saying that like a government is somebody that is appointed into a position, do you understand? To do the things. It's like a representative body. You have somebody representing you. That person is not going in his own accord. No, he has no authority without you. I hope you know. Without you, that individual does not have an authority. Without you, your president does not have an authority, because who is he presiding over? Governance is to serve you. It's like buying a washing machine and you're the one washing, like you're washing. Do you understand? You are the one. Doesn't make any sense. And that is what's getting into Nigeria, because we've not woken up yet to that realization that we're the most powerful tool within governance.
Okay. Now I understand this one too. I would like to also just on to what you said about the constitution of UK and Nigeria. They are the same, but we are leaving Nigeria to go to England or wherever I live. So my belief is that, you know, we are in Nigeria. We are not that mono. We are not that mono. We are poly in nature. We are our ethnicity and so on is very, very diverse and so on. Their population is something that is almost one people, one tribe, whatsoever. Their language is almost the same and so on. This is suitable for them and suitable for the way of their culture and so on. But here in Nigeria, if you can observe, even within the judiciary, you will have the Sharia law, there is this law, there is that law. If you come to, in terms of even communicating with each other, you'll find out that some people are not even hearing this English that we are even speaking now in this country, in this very Nigeria, but we use English as our official language, and a lot of things that need to be sit down and deliberated on based on how Nigeria is, based on our culture, based on our ethnicity. We need to drive our laws in essence, not other people's law that we are going to adopt.
Now we're talking. Thank you, Mohammed. But I'll quickly like to address that. You're very right to state that there's complexity within our own system, because we have to like pay respect to the different culture, like the different cultures that we have. There's Sharia and there's all of that. But there's one thing that presides all of that, is our constitution. And please, again, English is not even the British, like within the British, they have their own language. I hope you know the Welsh language, for example. Irish, they have their own language. We need to understand culture. Before the British became how many of us here has watched Vikings? who has seen any Viking movie or Viking series yet? You know, I told you in this class that I'm going to make this class as layman and as direct as possible so that you would understand better. Do you understand? It's not far up there. Has any of us seen Vikings? Any Viking movie? Any Viking? Exactly. Please, where are Vikings from?
They are from this thing,
They're
Denmark.
Europeans, aren't they? Aren't they Europeans?
They are Europeans.
Yes. Aren't they the ones with the most salvage salvage culture? Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. So everyone has their culture. Everyone has their religion. Do you understand? Within England, there's still a lot of people. In fact, there's a small civilization within England in our own from that are still traditional worshippers. Let me use it in the words that we understand. How many of us know that? The difference between what we have here now in Nigeria and what we have in the UK is the willingness, is their citizens, is the obedience of the law that is already in place. Do you understand? Look at us. I've said it that even I am guilty of it, and it is one of the things that I'm intentionally trying to change. A lot of us will be driving on the road, you know, we'll pass red lights and we'll move. You don't know that it's part of the problem. If you can be driving and you see red light and you can pass, it means that a situation will arise that will make you do something else tomorrow. That will make do you understand the circle? The only thing that is happening is because there is lack of accountability.
Yes.
Especially in Lagos, people passing one way, maybe because they are rushing to somewhere. Or life is happening to everybody in different countries, but you cannot go to the UK and try that. Why? Because there's a sense of accountability. And it is our same people that are living in Nigeria, do you understand? They are going to the UK and abiding by these rules, but then when they come in, it's something else. Why? You know, a truck is driving with a car that is not even with a truck that is not even supposed to be on the road. It falls and it smashes, and the container smashes on another car. Next thing you say, oh, this family went out in Lagos to hustle for their life, and just like that, a truck fell on them and they all died. I mean, Nigeria never happened to you. Please, what did Nigeria do in this situation? You have a law. In fact, our motorway act says that, do you understand? There are some cars in their condition that you should not be driving. But as a Nigerian, you carry that car, you drive it, an accident happens. Do you understand? You cause harm to the road. Do you understand? In fact, the truck or the heavy equipment will damage the road. Somebody else passes that road tomorrow, has an accident and dies. Next thing, may Nigeria never happen to you. Without holding ourselves accountable to the damage that we're also bringing to Nigeria. It is a vicious system. What I'm trying to say is that for us to have good governance, our governments, they're not ready. You know why they're not ready to do the work? Because we're not ready to hold them accountable. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that we do not have bad leadership. Our leadership is one of the worst. But I am saying that we have bad leadership because we continue to allow it. We continue to permit it. And all we do is complain without actually doing anything, without realizing that we actually have these laws. This UK that we're looking at. In fact, some of our laws are even better than that of the Americans. Imagine Nigerians having the rights to hold guns. Hey, we are finished. Just imagine an average Nigerian that is averagely mad with the right to own a gun. I'm not trying to downplay the sufferings that we're going through. I'm not trying to downplay our problems in Nigeria. What I'm trying to get us to realize is that we play a much more important role within our system. And until we realize that, we're not going to do any better. I mean, I went on what's it called? I went on channels. Was it 2 days ago? Yeah, I went on channels and I saw like an acclaimed economist. I'm not even an economist. An acclaimed economist, and he was talking about the reason why the naira to the dollar is bad, and it's because women are always importing woman hair, and it's doing damage to the economy. Is it right? Actually, yes, it's right. Do you understand? Because we do import, we bring in things more than we bring out, more than we export. And obviously, that's economics 101. That would have an impact in in any society. But that is an overtime thing. Do you understand? Failing to hit the nail on the head, to address the main issue. For example, main issue number one, what are we reaching in Nigeria? Natural resources. We have oil, we have crude. What's going on in Bielsa? Please, everybody knows, bunkering, right? How do you think these people who steal oil, how do you think they sell it off? Classic 101. You steal oil, do you understand? You go into the black market, you understand? You say, oh, we have oil for sale for $500 million, for example. Somebody in Ukraine or somebody in Russia or even somebody in the UK, don't think that these people, they are not as criminally minded as us. They are more about, theirs is called white collar. They dare not do it in daylight the way we do it. Do you understand? Let's say somebody in Russia and says, oh, that's cheap oil for $500 million. Okay, we'll buy it. The man coming to Nigeria, will he carry cash? He will not carry briefcase of cash now. Do you understand? He will travel on a normal flight, come down, go to Bielsa, do the negotiation. When he sees that his oil barrels are ready, they put it on a vessel. He calls his guy in the UK or US. I need so amount. I need $500 million. How can I get it? He calls his banker. I need $500 million. Please wire to my account. The banker wires to his account. But because he's in Nigeria, do you understand? And that is illicit funding. How does he get the money in Nigeria? It's simple. He calls our bureau de change guys in Nigeria, our BDC guys. Do you understand? I need so kini. Do you understand? They bring the cash to him. He carries the cash. He gives it to the person he buys oil from. Let's say our dear citizen now has $500 million. What does he do with the $500 million? He doesn't take everything to the bank. Maybe he takes $100 million to the bank. The rest, he puts it under his bed and he starts to spend it. Do you know what that simple act does to the economy? It crashes the economy because you're hoarding money. Money is currency. It is meant to be going. Do you understand? Now you've packed all of that dollar. At what consequence? You've enriched the UK, you've enriched Russia, but you did not put the money into the bank because you cannot. Why? Because you need to explain where that funds came in from. So instead, that's why a lot of individuals, politicians and all of that, you see them with a lot of Ghana must go cash. Do you understand? You cannot put it back into the system. It's basic economics. What do you think would happen to the rates? You see the way the rate is going up and down every day, up. It's artificial. It is very artificial. And what that means is that people, the top playing guys, are playing with your lives, but somebody will come on TV to say it's because somebody is importing. Don't get me wrong, that also affects the economy, but it's like a trinket. Do you understand? It is not the problem. And everybody will start fighting again on social media. This, that. Turning your eyes from the main problem. I always say this, awareness is power. Knowledge is power. By that, your currency has dropped. But because you don't understand basic economics, because you don't understand how these things work, you go to social. I'm not saying Tinubu is the best, though. I don't know him from anywhere. I didn't vote him. He's our president. May God give him the grace to lead us right. Do you understand? Whoever is on the seat, I always pray and I always hope that, they do the right thing. But you come on social media and say, this Tinubu regime, Tinubu is the worst. Tinubu is just a man. He's just a man. You need to follow the concepts. You need to follow the principle. In this case that I've just given you, you need to follow the money. What has Tinubu got to do with that? Politicians are using you to play politician gamble and you are following. All of this is just APC, PDP, NDP, playing banter, using your head, so that on the next election, you say that, Tinubu win, even if I'm not saying his administration is good. I'm just trying to make you understand the concept that it's high time we start to reason by ourselves and stop following a trend. It is high time. Do you understand? Let's use our brain. The reason why the currency is going up and down is because somebody that has the power somebody that has that much access to resources or funds is playing around with our funds. It might be Tinubu, but it might also not be Tinubu. But because you don't know better, a lot of us don't know better. It's not everything I know. Because you don't know better, you go online and say, oh, Tinubu's and this. No, that's not how you tackle issues. That's not how you tackle issues. All of us here, we've had a grievance before with one body or the other, or one. In fact, let's even forget presidency. How many of you here know that your local government chairman is the one that is actually, let's even scratch that. How many of us here know our local government chairman? Please. How many of us here know our Justin, please, you know your local government. I'm going to call names random now, please. And I'll ask you where you're from, if you know your local government chairman, and if you've had any relations with him or her. Justin, do you know your local government chairman?
That is very correct. I know my local government chairman, and I've also had some relation with him because I led an advocacy.
Where are you from?
I'm from Obudu local government, Cross River State. Okay,
good. In what capacity, please?
Yes. I noticed that there was a lot of erosion in the very community that I'm coming from, Ukpe ward. And when I got home by this December Christmas, I organized a group of youth. And we led a delegation to a local government. They were not giving us access. We made noise at the gate until they forced to open and asked the man to come and attend to us. In fact, he came himself. So I was a speaker. I addressed him and told him that, look, these things are things that he can collaborate with other agencies of government, civil society, and all. And then he can give support to those people because he is directly at the grassroots representing Tinubu at that level. Tinubu will not come to that community to do the work that is there. That is on the one hand. But I want to speak to the point you made before.
Excuse me. So this thing that you tendered, do you understand that you brought to their attention?
Yes.
As any like have they started to make any progress? Are things being put in place to solve that issue?
Yes, after I left, I learned that about 2 NGOs have taken it up, and then they are partnering with the community gradually within organizing.
Do you know what you've done right there? You've held your representative accountable. If you guys did not do that, that thing will continue to be there. You know that, right?
Yes.
It will continue to be there. When somebody does not want to do the work, you force them to do the work. Or you what? As an employer, what do? You make them resign. It's that simple. Yep. I always say, remove your eye. If you want to make Nigeria good, remove your eye from the president first. Remove your eye from your governor. Start with your local government chairman. You know why? When you put fire under his bomb, he will cry to the House of Rep. House of Rep will cry to the governor. Governor will cry to the president. It's an hierarchy thing. The president doesn't know you. And quite frankly, sorry to say, the president does not care about you. Do you understand? He doesn't know where you're from. He does not know what is happening in your community. He does not know that 10 people have just been kidnapped. Maybe in the community, there are communities that have strong internet. I know a lot of places in Kogi that don't have access to internet, that they do not have data. The crimes that those people will be suffering right now, Nigeria may not know about it. It is how you yourself, you don't know me, you don't know where I'm from. What is your business with my community?
Yeah.
What you don't know, you cannot help, right? So you go to your local government chairman, you hold him accountable. You start with that. Let me go to the chat. I'm reading a lot of chats here, and I'm seeing that some people, they know the local government chairman, but a lot of people are saying no, not at all. And quite frankly, I'm not blaming you for that. I'm not judging you for that. It is because you simply do not know better. Full stop.
I've not finished my point, man.
Politics and governance has distracted us so much so that we think that everything sits within the president, the office of the presidency. The most important elections, we do not even participate. Our local government chairman, our House of Reps.
Yeah.
The last class I taught, I had a lot of people from within the Ikeja local government, and their chair was right on the chart. They didn't even recognize her. They didn't even know that she was there. See, beautiful avenue, right? For them to table their problems, to table their issues, to even hold her accountable. But they did not even know her. They didn't even know that she was there. So she just started there listening to the class. She even commented, after the class, we shared a few laughs. And that was it. The class ended. They didn't know her. They didn't know that, this is the person to hold. You hold her neck. You understand? As opposed to holding the president. And the class ended. And I had to point it there. Just before the class ended, I said, I'm not going to tell you who. But those of you that are from this certain community, you have your representative here. And you don't even know her.
Please, ma, I still have a thought to share, ma.
I'm here.
Okay, thank you, ma. Your class is so interesting and interactive, and I love this. You know that when you talk about the being a victim of Nigeria, which has metamorphosed into the mantra of Nigeria happening to you, let me share a brief experience. You see, in the last administration, the government of the former president Muhammadu Buhari, something happened. The CJN was arrested in the Gestapo manner. People attempted to resist it for accountability. But if you see the force that he was met with, that's number one. I know that there are civil societies in Nigeria like SIRAP, headed by renowned lawyer Femi Falana-San, SAN, that have been advocating for civic freedom and all of that. And I know how many times that they've made advocacy to the president, to the executive arm of government, and they do not honor those things. Using myself as an example, you are talking about citizens not actually participating and actually demanding accountability from their leader. In the days of Bring Back Our Girls, I was one of the peoples in Abuja here that protested to Eagle Unity Fountain. I can remember vividly the quantity of tear gas that I swallowed and how it was disbanded. They never even wanted it. Online, I also am aware that recently in the 2023 election, there was a campaign, All Eyes on Judiciary. Now, these are all activities that the citizen, I think in the introduction part of this class, we learned that one of the ways citizens can become politically literate is through the media. And I remember on Twitter, there was the hashtag All Eyes on the Judiciary. And if you go to the Supreme Court, the entrance to the Supreme Court and see what was there, people actually were already mobilized to protest what they felt that was not good with the governance, with what the judiciary was doing. And all of them met with very stiff resistance, use of force, very, very mighty force. In this situation now, and we are looking at citizens' participation in terms of holding elected office holders accountable. What would you advise as our teacher today that citizens should do in situations like that? Because people have done this kind of things and they have been killed, and you hear other people posting Nigeria has happened to them. Thank you.
So yes, well done. And I really like the energy that you're bringing to this class. Well done to that. Now let me tell you where we get it wrong sometimes. For you used the Bring Back Our Girls scenario. I wasn't there. I wasn't opportunity to be there. The one I was opportune to be a participant of was the EndSARS campaign.
All right.
Let me tell you something. Let me analyze that for you. Let me tell you the beauty of that campaign and also where we got it wrong as a people.
Yeah.
As you know, at the very start of the campaign, it was a movement of everybody. Like, we're just tired of what was happening. Do you understand? It went beyond EndSARS to the actual state of governance within Nigeria. Do you understand? We all came out, we were passionate, we fought a good fight. And I can categorically tell you, as an individual that has a lot of friends and family within the governance, for the first time since I have been mentally aware of governance in Nigeria, like for as long as I can remember, our politicians were extremely scared. You don't understand. You know that even in the middle of COVID, most of them packed up their family and ran from Nigeria. Do you know what that means? It means for the first time in centuries, the put fear. You, me, a lot of us present here, do you understand, that campaigned for that movement one way or the other, not just by going to the streets, do you understand? Even the Twitter warriors, the Instagram warriors, the lawyers that came to fight for the people that were put in jail, that were campaigning, the doctors, the people that came out in every capacity, do you understand? For the first time in centuries, to put fear in the hearts of these in the hearts of these politicians. Do you know how we did it? I'm going to quote a verse in the Bible. Now, please remove the Bible out of it. I'm not quoting this based on religious sentiments. Do you understand? I'm quoting this so you understand the principle behind what I'm about to say. Genesis 11:5-7. Do you know what God Himself said when the people of when these people were building this tower? They said they wanted to build a tower so that they can understand and see God. God said when mankind were in one accord and spoke the same language, they decided to embark on a project, highlight project, that was visibly succeeding. Do you understand? Visibly succeeding because of the reaction of God. God said, if as one people speaking the same language, they have begun to do this, then nothing they can plan to do will be impossible for them. Let us bring discord into their midst. Let us change their language so that they do not understand each other. And immediately they did that. What happened to the project? The project failed. Again, remove the religion. I'm not quoting this because the Bible says it. I'm quoting it so that you understand a concept that leaders and individuals, me and you, have been using from time on memorial. Communication. There's nothing like the power of togetherness. Do you understand that? For once in a very long time, old, both young, both Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, all of us stood firm on one thing that we believed in, and we were pressing. We pressed so hard. Again, I will tell you, almost all the politicians that I know personally, most of them, not all of their, see, I'm not even talking of just their family member, I'm talking of their wife, children, their in-law, their cousins, everybody left Nigeria. Everybody left Nigeria. And what you don't know is that is how and where the actual Japa movement started from. Everybody left Nigeria. Why? Because for the first time, we were holding these people accountable, but we lost it. How did we lose it? Again, these people, you don't know that these people are very smart. That's what they say. You cannot fight the government, not because they are so powerful, you cannot fight them, because there are always something tactical that they will throw amongst your means, and citizens like headless sheep would always fall for it. Before you knew it, they started saying, it's Igbo that is doing this, it's Yoruba that is doing this, oh no, it's this. And what happened to the movement? It started to lose focus. What did we do? We focused so much on, protesting that we forgot the primary thing. Do you understand? So for there to be a change, you start by protesting, right? Raising your voice, but you do not stop there. You will not make a change by raising your voice. As you're raising your voice, you're going to the classroom to put in works. Do you understand? Look at do you know how many Davido tweeted, oh, he needs so millions. I think it was over 300 million naira to clear his car from port. Quickly, in less than 3 days, Nigerians, even and it's not Nigerians that had money. It was 500, people were contributing 100 naira, 500, 1,000, and in less than 3 days, he raised the money. Now, please, what stopped us then from doing the protests that we're doing, which was very good because then it placed fear in these people. But what stopped us from being hungry enough to not just stop there, but actually take that passion and that spirit of togetherness that we finally had into the classroom? Do you understand? We come up with an agenda. We come up with what we want. We come up with the principle. Do you understand? You put all of our money behind it, not just money, but resources. Do you know what resources means? The people that came out to protest, they were protesting in their own minds. Not everybody were at Lucky Tollgate. Some lawyers were at Panti trying to fight the case for the people that they picked up, and they were able to release them. Some doctors were treating people, do you understand, that had gotten injured within the fact. So that's how you lend your human labor to the general fight. Do you understand? Assuming we are taking, and it's the same thing for Chibok girls, for you to want to fix it's not a, that's what I'm saying, that I don't even think we understand what we want, because if we do, we are not ready. Go and ask Rwanda. You see the Rwanda now that they are saying is the new giant of Africa. That is this, that is that. How did they do it? They did not just, people didn't die and then they started twisting, oh, maybe Rwanda not happened to you, and they fell back. No, they kept on pressing. They kept on marching until they got what they want. Nobody shouted, maybe Rwanda never happened to you, because they knew they had nowhere to run. And they knew that if they did not fix that thing, then that would be it. We had such a I always say this, we had such a beautiful opportunity during NSAT. But unfortunately, do you understand? Because we lack vision, it stopped at the Lekki toll gate. It stopped at a protest. What will protest do for you? Nothing. You protest, okay, after a few days, people will forget about it, and it will be business as usual, which is exactly what happened. After Chibok girls, what happened? Nothing. You protest, but what does protest do to nothing? It starts up and it fuels passion. Yes. But that's the end of that. It would fuel your passion, but you need something more to continue your work. What did I just say to you? Do you understand? See, when a bunch of people are committed to a cause and they come together for that cause, even your God, be it traditional God or Christian, okay, okay, thank you, baby. No, not yet. Mom is in the class later, okay? Sorry about that. So, like, even, like, they would stand still. Do you understand? Everywhere will stand still, because there's nothing more powerful as the word togetherness, like coming together. One agenda, one people, and you keep fighting. You just saw what I read. He said he knew that if these people continued in the way that they are continuing, one voice, do you understand? One target, it's impossible for them not to hit their target. You cannot fight. You cannot say you want to have a better life and you fight for a month and a few people die along the way. I'm sorry. It's very sad. Very, very sad. But when it comes to governance, you have to be very practical and realistic. You say that because of that, you do a little chant, may Nigeria never happen to you, and you give it, and that's it. Of course, you've just disrespected the people that died. That is where their lives even meant nothing, because that's where it ended, and that's it, full stop. It is not a today's war. It's not a one night. And that's again the problem of Nigeria. We like quick things, like anything that is not bringing money quick, anything that's not bringing an ease to our pain quick, we don't want it. And sometimes it's good because it even speaks to our resilience. Nigerians are very hardworking because they want now. But things has to take its due course. To fix Nigeria is not a one-day thing. It is not even a 1 year thing. It is not 1 year. You want your rates to go down and you think it will happen in a month. You want good road, you want, it's gonna take years. It's going to take years. Dubai, who went to, I don't know if any of you went, I don't know if anybody went to Dubai in the 90s. Dubai was nothing to write home about. You as a Nigerian will not want to go to Dubai. But they knew where they were going, and look at them today. We are the ones running there. So what I'm saying is that in order for us to do this thing right, we need to go back to the table. We need to first understand what we're facing, because if you don't even understand what you're facing, how do you want to deal with it? When you don't understand the problem, how do you want to solve the problem? You need to understand what you're dealing with, and you need to be realistic, and you need to understand the concept of patience, and you need to know that it will take time. NSAT should not have ended the way it ended. We didn't need to be at the gate or at the Lekki toll gate till now to realize what we need to have realized. Again, I'm saying it now. This is on YouTube. It's going to go live. For the first time in decades, our leaders were genuinely scared, worried, and concerned. And for the first time in decades, international bodies took us seriously too. How did it end? And you say Nigeria never happened to you, when we're the ones happening to ourselves. Look at how we bungled that opportunity. Beautiful opportunity. Nobody's up to today held anybody accountable. Is it not yours as much as it is mine? Is Nigeria not as much yours as it is for the president? Why are you calling his name? Not that I'm saying that his name should not be called, but why are you calling his name? Why don't you stand up and work for what you want? most of us live in an estate. When there's no light or there's no water, the water pump is bad. What do? We go to our neighbor. Is your own working? No, it's not working. All of us will go to our estate chairman and say, guy, this thing is not working. You need to fix it. We put pressure on the estate chairman. The estate chairman then does what? He gets up and he does what he's supposed to do. Nigeria is not different. Nigeria is not different. So why are we not doing that? Within our little capacity. You know, may Nigeria never happen to you. Yes, the currency is bad. There's this yogurt I take. It's called Nomad yogurt. In the UK, it's £1. How much is shipping down to Nigeria? This is less than 1 kg. To ship a yogurt down to Nigeria that is less than 1 kg is about £4 per kg. So let's just say, and this is less than a kg. You need 5. In fact, 12 makes up a kg. So let's say less than a pence. Do you understand? So the total cost of this product should be £1 and 2 pence. Do you understand? Let's say you want to add profit. Let's even say you want to max out profit. You add £2. That's £2.50. How much is £2.50 now? That's about 3,000, 4,000. I go to a shop. How much is this £1 product? It is 14,000. And you're saying, may Nigeria never happen to you. Do you know how much profit that is? You're putting your fellow man into abject poverty. And you have the guts to say, may Tinubu now. You have the guts to tweet one day and say, the government is bad, the economy is bad. When you are contributing to it, it's a vicious circle. I keep telling you that these people are just less than 1%. Oh, we are the ones carrying the 99%. Oh, and you're telling me that you cannot put your house in order. That's on us. That is on us. Accountability, we need to start learning accountability from now on. This is what I teach every class. This is what I do every day within my little capacity. Hold who I need to hold accountable. Hold who I need to hold accountable. Think about it. Are you not one man? How do you even want Tinubu to work if everybody is dragging him over everything that is happening in Nigeria instead of your local government chairman? They don't want you to know these things so that you don't do what. But please, assignment number 1, Kunle. I'm going to talk to Kunle about this. Everybody in this cohort, what I expect you to do is find out who your local government chairman is. Know their names, know their Instagram handle, know their Facebook handle, know their LinkedIn handle, and from today, start holding them accountable. Send them messages every day. Find a couple of other people, your neighborhood. Do you understand? Go to them like the way Justin said he did his. Start holding them accountable, small. It is the low-hanging fruits that we will start from. You cannot see the president, unfortunately. So you start from the one you can see. You start from the one you can see. My local government chairman is tired of me. He's tired of me. And by default, guess what? My governor knows me, not because I'm doing anything, because every day when something happens, I fire him. And by default, it is Sheyi and so. And that's how you make a change. Small. That is how you make a change, and that's how you make a difference. It is from the low-hanging fruits. I hope everybody understands that. So everybody in the chat group that's saying, I don't know mine, I don't do this, I don't blame you for that. The system is meant for that. It is meant to, do you understand? I don't blame you because they didn't even teach you that in government class. So now that you know that, your first point of contact is actually your local government chairman, your house of rep, people that are easily accessible to you. Please go to them. Go to them, know them, and start to table your complaints to them. And when they don't listen, you pick your neighbor. You go in batches. You go as a collective. And you start from there. Until you do these small things, honestly, we'll continue to remain in this state. That's just the truth. I don't know if anyone genuinely has any questions. Because what's the time? Like 6:33. I said today I'm not going to take time. We'll look at the time. So this is why I like to have I like my class to be, in form of a dialogue, because this is not something you teach. This is something you experience. Do you understand? You need to think in a certain way to understand these concepts, because if they are taught, it will just be one of those. Do you understand? You cannot teach passion. You can only express it. Do you understand? Samuel, John, I don't know if you have a question or contribution, but you can please unmute.
Okay, good evening all.
Good evening.
You said something earlier on the rising dollar and all that. So I just wanted to elaborate more. Can you provide more information about the factors contributing to the continuous increase of the dollar value on a daily basis, especially in relation to importation? Because you made mention of importation. Then
Yeah.
additionally, you have had I have heard of about previous administrations pegging the dollar annually with an estimated amount of 15 billion until the Tinubu administration decided to allow the dollar to be controlled by demand and supply. Could you elaborate on this development and share more light on the implication of this change?
So although that's not, that's not the direction of our class, but I'll quickly say that in any strong economy, it's like your currency should actually be determined by the demand of, by demand and supply. It's the way it should work. The reason why anything else would be happening is just because we're using crutches. And any factor that affects currency is basic, like I said earlier, economics 101. Our imports are more than our exports. We consume more imported goods than we do exported goods, and we have currency hoarding. Do you understand? The big players in the economy are hoarding money. So what we need to do is create policy that deters that. Like, CBN, I'm not saying that it is a fantastic rule, but it is something. They made a directive that, every dollar in Nigeria in banks should be liquidated to Naira, right? And a lot of Nigerians came out and started shouting, "Oh no, what kind of thing is this? Blah, 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 blah." It will affect me too. Don't get me wrong. Like, I have a domiciliary account. Do you understand? But we need to be ready to take hits for the economy to be better. Because then again, quite frankly, the countries that we're running to, I've never been to a country where they allow me deposit Naira in their country. Like, I will go to their country and open Naira account. Even in the UK, I live partly in the I do in and I live partly in the UK as I do here. There's nothing like dollar accounts. I cannot open a dollar account in the UK. I cannot open a Naira account in the UK. If it's not pounds, then walk out the door. You want UK's economy, but you're not ready to take you are not ready to put in the works or do what it entails. These changes will come with a lot of pins to our buttocks, but we need, again, that's why I said, for us to even understand what we're asking for, we need to understand the problem and understand that even us as citizens, we will take a hit. But because of the future of our kids, the future of Nigeria, we need to be resilient and fight it and ride it to the end. It's an impromptu directive. Quite frankly, I would have appreciated if the government said something like, you have a time frame to do this. But then again, it will even allow the money launderers and co to quickly find another solution to their problem. But in truth, I don't know any country that allows you to open another currency account. It was corruption that started this in the first place. It was corruption. I have a lot of vendors in Nigeria charging in dollars. Why? And you're saying that the currency, and I understand it because, again, it is part of the problem because our imports are more than our exports. Do you understand? Most of these things that these vendors are selling are imported goods. Do you understand? And so because of the volatility of the rate, there's a need for them to then charge in dollars. But the reality is that dollar is not our currency. This is mental slavery all over again. This is even worse than when we're colonized. It's a sacrifice thing. We all have to be ready. This is worse than colonialism. Mental slavery is the worst. Dollar is not our currency. Pounds is not our currency. What are you doing with it in Nigeria? And you are complaining about the rate. How do you want it to be better, please? You hold the dollar. Do you understand? You continue to hold the dollar as more valuable. Of course, it will be more valuable and it will continue to tell on your Naira. There was once a time 1 pound was equal to 1 Naira. I did not say dollar, I said pounds. 1 pound was equal to 1 shilling. There was once a time like that in the days of our great Tafawa Balewa. And now look at what it is. We all need to put, and then when I say that we all need to put in the work, this is what I mean. We need to be ready to let go of a lot of things. We need to be ready to sacrifice a lot of things. There are a lot of beautiful, rice farms in Nigeria. A lot of us still buy Chinese rice, like rice from Thailand and all of that. Most of our rice is still imported. Why? And you want the dollar to be, you want Naira to be better. How? Tinubu is not the one eating the rice you're eating in your house. So sure, how does it want to happen? How? You buy so many. Don't get me wrong, you've worked hard for your money, so you should be able to spend it the way you see fit and the way you want to. But the truth is that we're in a crisis and everybody has to lend in. A lot of things have to change for the system to change. A lot. I think I would hand over to Lisa now. So anyone who asks questions, she would be the one to direct the class from here on. So yeah, I'm still open for questions if there are any. But yeah, I would end the class by saying that by begging us not to forget that we are the things that matter within the governance. Do you understand? There's the judiciary, and yes, the judiciary has the power to hold the executive arm of governance, accountable. They have the power to hold the legislative arm of governance accountable. In fact, they have the power to bring about good governance in Nigeria, but they do not have the power to do this except you go to them. The judiciary cannot act on its own. It is a tool. It's like saying the vacuum cleaner should clean your house. You need to direct it to clean. You need to use it to clean your house. Do you understand? So the judiciary arm of government is a tool. It cannot work without you. It cannot work except you bring a case to it. It cannot work except you insist it holds your leaders accountable. That's the summary of this class. For you to get accountability, you need to demand it. You need to ask it, because that's the truth. If I'm seeing free money somewhere and nobody's asking me questions, you think I'll not continue to take the free money? Simple.
Okay. Good evening again. Thank you so much for the presentation. I think for many of us, we've been fired up already. My question is, somehow it's direct and we understand the procedure in holding or demanding for accountability from the executive and the legislative. We understand that. But from the judiciary, what is the procedure, or how can we think of a way, because there are definitely, allegedly, there are definite corrupt judges within our system, from the magistrates to the high court to the rest of the courts. So how do we hold these guys accountable from the judiciary point of view? How do we make it happen? We can understand the executive, we can understand the legislative, but for the judiciary, how does it happen?
Please let me first state that as we are being fired up and having passion, please let me first again say that no one man can fight the government, and I'm not asking anybody to go to war or fight the government. What I'm asking is accountability and the power of togetherness, because quite frankly, me as an individual, I will not single-handedly go to my governor or go to the president and say I'm demanding accountability. You know why? They will just waste me. And I have 2 children. I have 2 daughters. Do you understand? You need to think of working smart. What they cannot, however, do is waste the entire community. Do you understand? You have an issue. You pack this is the concept that I've always been preaching. It's when you are facing a problem, it is impossible that you're the only one. There's no problem that is isolated to one man. It is impossible that you're the only one. It's not possible that you're the only one facing the problem. Now, for example, the general problem that most Nigerians are facing is standard of living has increased. Salary is still the same thing. Do you understand? But because we're not hungry enough, we've not gone to the streets. Do you understand? When the hunger really kicks in, because I understand that this is a common problem, you will go on the streets, get your like-minded men, you will go to the house of these people, insist to go in, this food that you're eating, we all have to eat it together, because I don't have food in my house and I can no longer continue to watch my family hungry. Do you understand? What I'm trying to say is that you cannot fight government. However, you can reasonably put them to their knees. And the only concept that I know of, do you understand? The only concept that I know of, that I know that people who have done, and in other communities, it has worked time and over again, is the power of togetherness. So, my brother, go as a collective people. March as collective. Like, it's like a whole community are standing up to say they don't want again, or that they are hungry. Things need to change. Of course, things will change, because everybody's outside. They want to shoot everybody. If the people that are shooting by the time they see their wife in the congregation or see their child in the congregation, they will turn and shoot the person asking them to shoot to the people. Do you know that? As far as I'm concerned, like, you know, I said this, that this session is for all of us to learn. I'm not coming in my capacity as a teacher. I'm just coming to get us to start to realize things and to start to think for ourselves. What is the one thing that can allow for a successful match? Is the power of numbers and the power of togetherness. Power of numbers and the power of togetherness. And sense, because even when strategy is missing, NSAS had numbers. What it did not have is strategy, and they lost out. So before you go out, you must have done your assignment. And by do assignment, I mean you must identify what the problem is. Because first, again, like I said, for you to be able to solve a problem, you first need to understand the problem. You must understand what the problem is. Do you understand? Write out reasonable, visible solutions. Visible, I'm not saying you say, oh, let's overhaul the constitution, because that's not going to happen even if you want to overhaul the entire constitution, it's not going to be done in a day or two. Do you understand? Write down visible solutions, identify what you want to. It is then you go out to match. You don't go out to match, then when you finish matching, you now go back to say, okay, what do we want? That's stupidity. You need to be ready, because you are going out to match because you already know what you want. What the match does is for you to be heard and for visibility. A lot of marketers are on Instagram. They already have their shop. What they're using Instagram to do is visibility. Instagram is not telling them what to shop for. Do you understand? That's the difference. You cannot go to match without knowing what you're matching for. And that's exactly what happened at NSAS. And that's why it's so disheartening, and it saddened me to the core. You mean such great movement and there was no strategy behind that? That was sad. And it is because our politicians know this. It is the reason why they continue to do what they do. I mean, we've heard so many times politicians say on tape that, don't worry, it's your turn to have scandal. Don't worry, give it a week or two, it will blow over and a new scandal will come in. Nigerians will get tired. How old is Nigeria again? Are we not 60 something? When is it going to be enough? That question is us that we decide. When we finally realize that is either we do or we die. Until then, I guess we keep managing the system like this. While some of us keep on saying that may Nigeria not happen to you, without realizing that the Nigerians happening to people. So yeah, it's already 6:47. Wumi,
yeah.
Is there
Thank you so much, Faye.
Anyways.
No, I think there are no more questions in the chat box.
Email and all of that. So if there's anyone.
Okay, yeah, you can just drop your email.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay, thank you so much. You brought the passion as usual. I'm sure it was a very insightful class. I hope everyone has submitted their assignments. Remember, today was supposed to be your deadline. Yeah, so your deadline has passed. I hope all the parties have submitted. And for those that have not joined their parties, please note that you may not graduate because you'll be scored based on your party activities. So it's not just about attending class. Try and locate your party. The lists are on the Telegram. Locate where your name is and join your party from the link. I think that'll be all for this. And then tomorrow, classes continue. The last class for this weekend. Then we'll go again next weekend. So thank you again so much, Sheyi. Thank you. It's always a privilege having you. And your classes are always fire. Thank you for bringing the passion. Yeah. So on this note, on behalf of ED and everyone, we say thank you and have a good night, everyone. Well done, Chalia. Well done, Maureen. Well done, Miria. And to all the students, well done. I've been seeing your activities in your various groups. Keep it up. Keep up the energy. So good night and see you all tomorrow.
Peter, if you're still here, reach out. I think I owe you something for, starting my class.
Oh, yes. The first person that's the icebreaker guy. Okay, so Peter, feel free to reach out to Shay. Okay. So you've dropped your handle in the chat box, right? He's asking how he can reach you. Should I give him your number or something?
My email is fine.
Okay. All right. So Peter, I'll just get across to me and I'll share her email with you. All right. So good night, everyone. Charlie, I can end the